Welcome back to another War Selection Ranked After Battle commentary. Now, in this battle, I am fighting Asador, and this is like the 7th time I fought this guy in a row. And each time, I'm over exaggerating. Second time I beat him, or I've played against him. So this guy would not give up in this fight at all. Like, it was ridiculous to the point where the match actually almost got me to industrial. I didn't get to industrial, I got to late medieval in this fight. And the reason is because he just wouldn't give up at all. I even asked him to give up because I knew he lost because of how much damage it did to him early on. But nope, he refused to give up. So, we're see right here. I sent in my stone warriors. Now, he managed to kill 2 mammoths, and I think this is a boar, I believe, or a deer probably. But 2 mammoths, that's a lot of food he just got himself. Like, a lot of food. You can, like, live off that for, like, until at least Iron Age, if you have, like, no problems. But anyway, I go in and I managed to kill a bunch of his workers. Not as many as I want right now, but I did kill quite a few. I killed 2 up here and a few. I think I actually killed any here. No, I killed a few actually too. Yep, and I just sent in another wave, and again, I'm gonna keep sending these waves non-stop. He tries to go slingers, and something interesting he does, so he doesn't get, when he gets the, when he was getting stone warriors, he only got the 2 upgrades from the fight pit. He didn't get the one that makes them move faster. Interesting, and it was expected because he was strictly defending. And I think he was just trying to find like a stone warrior like defense strategy, which I did find, and unfortunately you have to know how to stone warrior rush in order to just defend. And he says, and I asked him, can you quit please? He says, Nat Banmanner. And I said, please. And I said, please. Oh, he called me Banmanner. I said, please. And I asked him to quit because I basically won. Like, I killed so many of his workers. I kept killing his workers. We're gonna swap over. Yeah, as you can see, like, his population is not even its full 60. Meanwhile, here I am, I'm reaching my max pop constantly. Again, I'm going in for opportunistic kills. I'm killing all his workers. And you can't destroy like structures. It's really hard to destroy structures when your opponent goes Europe. Like, really hard to use structures. Anyway, I'm trying territory. Anyway, I'm starting to realize that you only using stone warriors is not the way to go. As you see, my economy was doing amazing despite the fact that I was pumping so much into materials and food, but my economy was doing so good in this stage, like ridiculously good. I had so much food. And again, I'm killing more of his workers, so many of his workers, and losing a single worker in Europe, it could be just in debt. We speak. It is devastating. Like, the amount of workers he only had. He actually pause. Let's see where he had 16 here, another 11 there. Like, let's see total. He had 27 workers total. At this stage, that is just you can't. Meanwhile, wait, this is not mine. There we go. Meanwhile, I have 53 workers. Okay, we're actually gonna slow down here. So this one, I I started going after the houses, and the reason is that I was just trying to slow him down a little bit. I knew I couldn't beat him by just going after workers because he kept putting his workers in the towers. The problem is I was Asia, and when you're Asia, you can't destroy European towers without, you know, mass attacking first. Like, sure, you know, warriors could eventually bust down a European tower, but it really wasn't worth it. I see he was repairing them so fast. And let's see, we're actually going to skip more. Okay, so this one I do something a little bit more sneaky. So I use these warriors that were here to try to drive away his force, and then use my spears to, you know, attack the houses, and then the warriors to attack the workers. Unfortunately, a lot of the workers did go into towers. Not too many did escape though. I destroy, you know, one house. And again, all I managed to do was destroy one house. That was it in this entire wave, and it was just like, oh, I was like, oh, that was such a waste. Like right there, just all that for one house. Oh, this one I do though. So I start. Okay, I'm gonna pause here. So I start, you know, using my checkpoint strategy, taking towers, constantly moving up, moving up, moving up. But this time I get hand rams, and my idea was because hand rams are really good at destroying structures, I'm going to just use my main force to distract his forces, like all his archers and spearmen, and then my hand rams would come in and try to destroy at least these two. My plan was to destroy these two. I knew the inner ones would be almost impossible to get with the amount of warriors, but I tried. So I take my warriors, come north, and my spearmen to go the other direction, and then use my hand rams to go in and I destroy the towers. I only just managed to destroy one and then killed a bunch of his workers. I did try to go for the forge also, but I should have solely focused on the forge, but it didn't happen. I only took it, you know, like half. He tries taking his archers and spearmen to go around my main tower defense and then go through here. But luckily, again, my checkpoint strategy comes into play and it manages to keep him away. That rhymed. I built more towers, and at this point, I'm like, okay, so this isn't gonna work. So I decided to rush medieval, try to get medieval, and then get elephants, because that was the only way I was gonna break him. I knew that he did not have the workers to do this. Like, as you see, he's still trying to produce more workers. His population has reached its maximum multiple times, and again, I attacked too. And this time, I actually did way more damage too, because I split my forces. And use half my force to go after, you know, his archers, and then my other force, which he didn't even notice, to go after all his workers, metal workers here, and then the remainder of these houses. You see, I destroyed all four, which is really good. So I not only killed a bunch of his workers, but destroyed all four houses, and once again maxed out his pop and caused him to have to build more houses. Now, houses in this stage are really hard to make. Not because they're expensive, but just because you need like at least 3 workers on a single house to make it really fast and get, you know, the population you need up. You see, he was, you know, struggling for population a lot because most of his population went into his archers and whatever remains of his stone warriors. Meanwhile, he was again pumping so much of his supplies into wood. He has actually nothing in his food. Yeah, his food and metal is just dwindling fast. Let's see. Okay, he can't even get to medieval. Meanwhile, my economy was doing really, really good on food. I was having so much food. I got to medieval, and also I decided, okay, so I knew my materials were going really low, so I decided to pump everything else I had into nothing but materials. And he's going to stay like this for a little bit as I try to get my elephants up and also, you know, try to increase my population, because my population was, you know, going solely into stone warriors and spearmen. As you can see, I had a huge number of units. I had 19 um, AZAPs and then another 17 heavy spearmen, which I kept. And this strategy this guy was doing was kind of interesting because he would go around the towers and then make my spearmen chase him, as you see. And then he would run away. Now this is really effective. And it would have been like 3 times more effective had he had longbowmen. But I wasn't being really deterred. I kept staying close to towers, and I do eventually, although it was basically the end of the game already, build some towers here to keep him away. Because I also, yeah, again, I should just build towers way faster over here, but he kept sending the archers back and forth, back and forth. As you can see, he was attacking with his archers. He killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spearmen, and then wounded a lot more. But that didn't deter me. So my idea was to keep his archers away. Now he probably knew that I had elephant houses, but I didn't let him see my elephants. And then this time I decided to go around. So I took some spearmen, went around, and another group over this way to try to block them in. I only managed to kill 1 though. This time, okay, so this time I get Western Elephant Archers to deal with with the archers. And as you saw, I was gonna build a tower here to try to stop him, but then I swapped over to building this dock instead because of this. Because I saw this right here, and I knew, okay, so he had a dock, so I'm gonna go over there and destroy it. So just to cut his food production, and I could have waited and built some attack ships because I do get a late medieval and come and bombard him, but it was a good thing I didn't. Because extending this, because in this situation, when you're in this situation, when you're like backed against a corner, you don't have many resources, and you've basically already lost. You have to win in medieval. You have to get to medieval as fast as possible and win, and destroy your opponent with everything you have. It's like an all or nothing gamble. And speaking of all or nothing gambles, I split my forces. I get 3 armored elephants and 1 elephant rammer. I should have got more elephant rammers in the beginning, but oh well. So I use my spearmen to come over and attack his archers and bring my armored elephants inside to try and dish out damage. And these armored elephants, man, they're just ridiculous. And again, I get some elephant rammer. I get elephant rammers. I start destroying as much as possible with these with my elephant rammers. I go straight for the forge, so he couldn't build any more towers. And I continue, busting down. And right here is interesting because he actually upgraded to longbowmen. Now, I immediately pulled away with my armored elephants. Now, I could have kept fighting and I probably did significant damage, but I immediately pulled away. I destroyed this barracks, thus leaving his entire flank exposed. But I immediately pulled away with the elephants. Unfortunately, as you see, the elephant rammer didn't make it, which was okay. I had a lot more elephants spawned in, and I got a galleon to come over here and deal with this. But this time, I had way more elephants coming in, and I had way more elephant rammers, and I knew that immediately with this force, 24 spearmen, 3 armored elephants, and 4 elephant rammers with another one on the way. Yeah, I knew it was over. And I tell him, "You fought well." I said, "Thanks," and he said, "Sorry for long game," which was okay. I don't mind long games. Is the fact that I don't like I'm trying to rank up here. And I said, "Meh, another video for me." And as you see, this video for me because this game was actually long enough and it was exciting. Anyway, and he said, "I would prefer not having a red zone in my base." I think Now I was kind of confused with the red zone, so I see. I go straight for it. He tries to build a workshop. I'm not having it. I get all my armored elephants to go and destroy everything. Now I was kind of confused at what the red zone he was talking about. So I knew what a red zone was, but I couldn't see where it was. So I think it was actually right here was the red zone. Because you see, it's kind of a hilly area, and I say GG to him, and he says GG back, and I immediately just destroy his TC. And I just realized there's actually a galley fight here. Like he spawned in a galley, and I spawned in a galley, and they apparently were fighting each other. And now it looks like they both died at the same exact time. But okay. Anyway, these armored elephants are just OP. Like against European archers, yeah, they won't do much in like a solid defense. But armored elephants, man, their armor value is just too much. Well, then again, I think that's why, because they require another upgrade, so it makes sense that they should deserve to be good. But yeah, so I immediately just I started flanking him. I used my flanking maneuvers to go in, attack unstrategic locations that raiding parties in. Now, when you attack, you never want to attack like the full defense. You always want to flank them. So have like a small force to go in from the forward, and have your main force go into flank, and try to destroy as much as possible. Now, when you flank, you're not giving your full weight into the attack. You're just trying to, get there. And speaking of which, I actually get to industrial. I finally get to industrial, even though the game ended. Anyway, look at that, more elephants too. 8 elephants. But yeah, so when you flank, when you flank on your opponent, make sure you go in and you try to distract their main force, and then go in from the side and attack their other force. You can never fight your opponent head on, especially in a siege like this. This wasn't technically a siege, but it was pretty darn close, almost to a siege. And I say, and the reason it wasn't a siege is because he still had quite a bit of land in the back and resources, as well as he had access to the sea. Now, luckily, my TC was over here, and I was, capitalizing on this. But he was over here, and now he could have capitalized on all of this too. But again, his TC was really close, and all of his structures were really close to the water, which would not have been good for him later on, especially if I decided to switch my strategies. But yeah. So one last word of advice: whenever you get into a pinch like this, whenever you have no other option, like everything, like you've lost basically everything in the start, but you still decide to fight on, you have to win in medieval. Your opponent will get to industrial before you do, and they will probably be in late medieval. But the moment you hit medieval, you have to win, because if you don't put everything you got into a heavy attack with all the good units, not just archers and some catapults or whatever, but we're talking about legionnaire, whatever, if you had to sell your old Iron Age barracks, legionnaires for melee, because they're OP, and then I see he had Western archers, and then some catapults to bust through the defenses. You have to win the moment you hit medieval, or else you will lose. He tried. So had I let him build up, and I debated on it, had I let him build up, he would have used a catapult and came in, and I would be forced to have to destroy the catapult each time he would, use his archers to defend it too. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and I will see you all next time with these 12 elephants.